Yes, mate. Little video I wanted to do on wheel spacers. I don't normally put wheel spacers on cars, to be quite frank with you. I had them on a car many years ago, an E36 BM, just to kind of improve the stance of it. I've had this car for 12 years, never had an issue with kind of wheel spacers. I wish it did have a bit fatter tyres on it. I think I've gone up a size on the wheels on it. But I put wheel spacers on my Maserati recently, and I was amazed at the difference. It just looks so much better, and the way it kind of sits on the road, the way it handles. So I thought I'd do another video. I bought some more for my L322 Range Rover. I'll show you the kind of the way it sits stock. And obviously that's probably what yours sits like, which is fine. I mean, doesn't look too bad at all. Good if you're off-roading, because obviously it doesn't kick up so much dirt on the side all the way. I've got mud flaps. If you can see them there, they're not really flush. The face of the wheels aren't flush with the body. And the body kind of, don't think you can probably make out on the video, but they're definitely in quite a bit. Kind of inboard. It's fine, they don't look bad, but you can see there kind of where they sit in comparison to the body. But what I've done, same brand as the one I got from my Maserati, people called Bonoss. I'll show you the wheel spacers later. What I've done, I've fitted them on this side. So what I've done 30mm spacers on the back and 20 on the front. And it's a subtle difference, but it makes the car sit a lot better. I don't know if you can see it from the video, but it just kind of brings them in line. 30mm on the back, 20 on the front seem to be the kind of recommended size to go for. So as I say, I got this side with the spacers on, the other side without, and it just makes the car look so much better, the way it just kind of sits on the road. It just kind of gives it a bit more beef to it. Not overkill, but just enough. The good thing is these spacers also fit the L405. So if you're like me and are just waiting for prices to drop on them, because they're still asking big money for those, which seems insane for a 10-year-old car, especially when these were so cheap. Well, I picked this one up so cheap, as I said, about 12 years ago. I'm waiting for those prices to drop, and I can take the spacers off, put them on the L405, and it's not like I'm wasting that money in regards. I think it's about 200 quid. Bonoss is the site to look for. They're really well made. As I say, I got them on my Maserati. I'm going to put them on my Jaguar as well. Just subtle differences, but it does kind of add up. And there you go. Just give you a couple of passes so you can see. And that's on the stock, just so you can kind of compare the two. So yeah, thanks all. I'll show you what the packaging's like. This is a little decision for you if you want to make an upgrade to your car. Thanks. Yes, this is basically as they come. Bonoss says they got active cooling. I don't know how good that's going to be on your Range Rover. I've looked online at different brands and things like that. These guys are really good. They're Chinese made, so they do come from China, but the shipping's fast. But the reviews are good, really good, on all sorts of cars, not just Range Rovers. You get instruction books, which I've never seen with wheel spacers. Normally, they're just kind of made in some factory, and that's it. Good luck with it. 10-year warranty on them. All this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is what you get. Obviously, I've fitted one side, so you only see one pairing. That's 30mm, big chunk. You can just tell by the quality on them that they're really good quality. You know, they're not kind of cheaply made whatsoever. If you've never fitted spacers before, basically you take your wheel off. You've obviously got the nuts coming through. You sit them on. These then go through to there where you screw them on, and then these then is what your wheels go onto, and you use the original lug nuts. The original nuts from your wheel to actually to put them on. So it's just extending the hub basically. You're fattening the hub up. So that's a 30mm. There's a 20mm, exactly the same design. They're well done. They're hub centric, so they actually sit on the hub themselves. They're not just like a washer type. A lot of the ones you used to be able to get were kind of a washer type. You put them on and then use extended bolts through, which isn't really a good way of doing them in my opinion. You know, the bolts are a lot longer. It leaves more for failure. But don't worry. I mean, a lot of people say don't put spacers on your car. You're gonna ruin the wheel bearings and things like that. It's not the case really. They're just scare stories. You know, people in the States, they're running big trucks with them on. You know, really heavy, make a Range Rover look lightweight almost. So yeah, don't be scared about doing that. But I mean, it's individual choice really. These guys are definitely the best. Check them out. I'll put the link to their website in my description. There's also a discount code I found online, Kyle M. I'll put that in there. It gets you an extra 5% off. Whether or not it still works, if you're watching this video, I don't know, but I got an extra 5% off doing that, so happy days. Yeah, can't fault them. If you're tempted, go with Bonoss. It'll really improve the look of your car. Handling as well, motorway stability, things like that. Maybe not your first choice if you're an off-roading guy, but this all depends how you use them, innit? If you like my videos, I've got one on the Maserati where I put spacers on it, and you can have a little look at that. I've fitted stereos on them. I'm going to do a review on the L322 because I think it's one of the greatest cars in the world. It really is. If you're watching this, you've clearly got one. So I'm going to do a review on that and all my other cars. I've got a Ferrari, got a Jaguar. So I'm going to do all reviews on things like that. Little bits I do to the car. So please give me a subscribe, and I'll come back with more videos. Thanks again. As a final thing, I've done both sides now. I just thought I'd show you in access mode because that's where you notice it the most. Let me just show you how wide that is. It's leaning a bit because the other side hasn't gone down, but I hope that gives you some idea. It's more noticeable in access mode obviously because it's just lower. Hope that helps you anyway. Pick your choose if you want to go with it. Bonoss spacers again, 30 on the back, 20 on the front.